3HL 104.5 The Zone. Britt Doherty, Don Davenport with you. Hope you're having a great Monday. Man, the videos of that flood, dude, we know all about that here. Have you been here long enough?
2010?
Yeah. Is that when it was?
Yep. Well, and here's the deal. The speed at which that water rises will surprise anybody. You know, I just remember in 2000, I was like, oh my gosh. I mean, you could literally see it like by the second.
There were mobile homes going down I-24 in the water.
It was the, what was it, Life Christian classroom.
That's what it was. Mm-hmm. Yep. You were solidly on news, too, at that point.
I was.
So.
Crazy. It's so devastating. It's so sad.
I can't remember where I put this. Oh, here it is. Coast Guard rescue swimmer Scott Ruskin saved 165 lives in the Texas flash floods. The 26-year-old, a former KPMG accountant, directed Army Black Hawk 60s and MH-65s to survivors and helped get them to safety, according to the New York Post. Ruskin spearheaded a high-risk rescue mission under the worst possible environmental conditions, which in the end saw 165 people brought to safety, the New York Post reported. He told the Post, "I'm just doing a job. This is what I signed up for." And I think that any single Coast Guard rescue swimmer or any single Coast Guard pilot, flight mechanic, or whoever it may be would have done the exact same thing in our situation. That's what we were asked to do, and we're going to do it. Any one of us, if anyone else was on duty that day, they would have done the same thing as us. We just happened to be the crew that got that case. 165 people. So in the midst of tragedy, heroic acts.
Was one of the only first responders around, too. There was only a couple of them.
Yep. 615-737-1045. Big story over the weekend. Nashville SC with the huge win over Philly, getting 3 points there. Ben is up next on 3HL. Ben, what's up?
Fine. Long-time soccer coach here.
Oh, hey, Ben.
Over to high school. I saw the game. I've been watching. I've been going to all the games for the last 4 years. This was exciting, even though it was ugly, because we got a red card.
Yeah.
Maybe a little unjust, about 20 minutes left in the game. And by then, as a soccer coach, you say, well, this one is going to be a tie at the best for Nashville SC. However, you know, the gods of soccer were on the side of us. There was a justly taking down a man right in front of goal, and probably in front of us about 20 feet. And it was obvious. The referee had his head turned, but he was told immediately, PK, and definitely was. And Mukhtar took it, and it was fantastic. It was a great win. Nashville SC is playing wonderful soccer. The best I've seen in Nashville ever. So
nice.
Maybe it's the year for them, huh?
I mean, it kind of feels that way, doesn't it, Ben?
Yeah, I think we're there. I think, you know, in about 3 games where we are, I think if we can go ahead and not get distracted and beat the team in Miami, then we will feel more confident, because our demise started when we tied Miami a long time ago, 2 years ago, when Messi got in and Mukhtar lost his pizzazz and went to kind of hiding. But now Mukhtar is a fantastic player with a great service.
Yeah.
He's a good player. Nashville is lucky, and this coach has brought in a great right fullback, a great midfielder from Norway, a great sweeper, Plesio, and then we got a bunch of young midfielders, and one guy that's really showed up is Sam Surridge. He has become a difference maker now, with Mukhtar serving the ball, and of course the right fullback doing a great job. Nahar is fantastic.
Thank you.
I was going to say, I think it's going to be fantastic. Come on, we've lost some of our Latino people who come to that game, but they'll be back.
Thank you, Ben. Appreciate you, man. Just an unbelievable experience again. Watching all those videos, I didn't get tired of that at all. All over my social media feed, everybody was posting their angle of that penalty kill shot from Hani Mukhtar, which was a thing of beauty. I mean, it could not have been placed any better. Here is Will Bowling's call of the winning goal.
Now ready, towards it, right foot, shot, back of the net! Mukhtar at the death for 10-man Nashville. Not even a red card can cool off the red hot boys in gold. Mukhtar, past Blake, Nashville 1, Philadelphia 0.
That was a great call. Good job, Will Bowling.
Could hear the crowd, feel like you're there.
He did an excellent job of calling the goal.
Laying out.
And then letting it breathe. Mm-hmm. Let the crowd. You heard Mike's pyrotechnics because Will let the crowd let you know what was going on. That was absolutely beautiful. And sometimes as a broadcaster, and you know this, Don, sometimes less is more, and saying nothing is the right thing. Like, I always point back to Kirk Gibson's home run in the World Series, and Vin Scully let that thing breathe for like a minute. That was an incredible call. Zeph, did you find Bert?
And we go from incredible calls to...
Give me 1 second. I can pull it back up.
And also, just a little day work assignment. Find that Vin Scully, Kirk Gibson call. Because I don't do it justice by simply saying that he didn't talk for a minute. Like, that doesn't do anything for you.
Okay, I've got the Bert video thing where he makes his call here.
Yeah, so this is during the week last week before the game even took place, and Bert was creating calls as if he were in the booth. Yeah.
How do you want to set this up? We've got goal calls back there to run by Dan Lovitz. How are we doing this?
Yeah, so it's just some hypothetical goal-scoring calls, and all I need you to do, Dan, is tell me if you love it or you hate it.
Lovitz plays.
That's all you got to do.
Love it or hate it. So ready for this?
Okay,
yes, sir.
So I got 3 different goal calls here. I'll start with Hani. Hani goes down. He's having a breakaway, and he makes a man fall. He shoots. He scores. Hani, I'm home.
Wait, who's on the line listening to these?
Dan Lovitz of Nashville SC.
I love
Bless
it.
his heart.
He said, I love it.
Right. Okay, we're starting on
Actually, I feel like Lucas should do this because Lucas is the voice of Nashville
I very
SC.
much prefer Robert to do it. I am writing them down.
Well, if you don't work these into the broadcast, the show is going to hold you
that one was
accountable
good.
for it.
And he did Hani
That's
Mukhtar,
one
which
for
was
one,
great.
too. Let's go.
Hani, I'm home. No? You're not
I
in?
cannot see Will Bowling pulling that off.
Hani, I'm home.
That's just not in his
You
personality.
think Lucas could pull it off? I think
Maybe.
I could see Lucas doing it.
Maybe Lucas, yeah.
Maybe, but not soccer Lucas. Like Lucas on the show, but not soccer
Not
Lucas.
soccer Lucas.
Those are 2 different personalities.
Those are 2 different Lucases?
Yes.
You're not going to pit one Lucas against the other?
That's right.
All right, find Vin Scully calling Kirk Gibson's homer so I can let the people understand what it means to do play-by-play without saying anything. 615-737-1045. Jason in the borough. Jason, what's up?
Hi, how y'all doing?
Hey, we're good, man.
Good.
So I was at the game on Saturday with my daughter. We're at about 20 games over the last 3 or 4 years. And we were I was at the Chicago 7-2 game. But this one, the environment, right under 29,000 people, I'll have to agree with the last caller that was saying the second half was boring. It was not at all. I was having to scream at my daughter who was next to me. The ref was the worst that I've seen in any soccer game so far. And the stadium was letting him know it regularly. Rocking the house, screaming at the ref. The place never quieted down at all. If you were at that game on Saturday and you don't go back, there's something wrong with you.
I got you, man. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. 615-737-1045.
It looked amazing.
Mm-hmm. I got to tell you,
it was great. Like I said, my take on it was from a 13-year-old. By that point, was like, okay, can I go up to my room?
And he loved soccer. You know, he loved it in the moment for sure. But yes, he was being a teenager, I guess, at that point. But
I didn't get the details.
Yeah, details.
I didn't get the whole. That was amazing. I mean, what do you expect, right? I'm not going to get that from a teenager, but. It sounded amazing.
Look, and we crack on 0-0 scores a lot.
All the time.
Because we're simple-minded people here and we love scoring. But
no, we just love a winner.
Yeah, well, that too, yeah. Which you got in this game.
Which we got.
But I would imagine that 0-0 second half time window would have been so intense.
Yes, no doubt, yeah.
And you were probably so ill at ease that it would have been a different deal.
Especially towards the end there. Yeah.
So you said you don't think Lucas could pull that off? That call?
During a game?
During a game?
Has he done it before?
Well, no, but he's done this.
That's right.
Yeah, Lucas can pull it off.
I think Lucas could definitely do that.
I was kind of hoping for the goal from bowling.
Is that guy still around, the goal guy? Remember the guy that used to scream goal for like 2 minutes?
Forever.
Yeah. I feel like that's most soccer announcers I've heard.
You think they all do it?
I feel like
I wouldn't know.
Overseas soccer announcers do, yeah.
Oh.
I'm not sure if American soccer fans would gravitate to that.
I thought it was
Delirium's pretty good.
Delirium was
Delirium was funny.
Lucas does get poetic now.
Yeah.
He does. That's a good point.
I found the Vin Scully, Kirk Gibson home run call.
Listen to how this guy delivers this broadcast by not saying anything. It makes it perfect. Listen to this.
Sachs waiting on deck, but the game right now is at the plate. High fly ball into right field. She is gone!
10 seconds. Seconds. Keep in mind this is on television. But I think his broadcast also on radio. 30 seconds. The organ's playing. 40 seconds. I've never noticed the organ playing during this.
That's the first thing I noticed.
50. Isn't this amazing?
Okay, now I want him back.
1 minute.
I could never do it as a play-by-play person.
See, that's the part that sticks out to me. It's like,
in a year that has been so improbable, the impossible has happened.
I mean, this dude was the best. So the backstory there was Kirk Gibson was unavailable to play that night. And Tommy Lasorda asked him before the game, if there's a situation, can you give me one swing? And Gibby was like, yeah, I can give you one swing. He goes, okay, don't tell anybody. And so they got into, I forget how the story goes, but they got into like the 8th or 9th inning, and they were down, but they were still in it, obviously. And Lasorda told Oral Hershiser, one of the best pitchers ever, and I'm not a Dodger guy at all. Jimmy White could tell this story much better than me. But he said, hey, Oral, come here. He said, go tell Gibby to go into the clubhouse and swing a bat. And so he comes out there. He can barely walk. And he hits a weak, like, nubber down to first that goes foul. And so I think there was one on. Were they down one and there was one on?
Yeah, there was one on.
Yeah.
It was a 2-run homer.
And This is the bottom of the ninth with 2 outs. And so Gibby comes up. I mean, it was one of the more dramatic things that I've seen in sports, and that's partly why we love sports, for dramatic moments that you don't see coming, and you can't script, and all of those things. So when he hit that homer, it really was pretty much a miracle that he was able to get that much of that ball. When you played the audio, were you watching the video?
I was, yeah.
Yeah. How in pain was he, like, going around the bases?
He was hobbling, especially because when I was trying to find the time I was watching I was skipping through the whole at bat, and I saw the dribbler where he had to run down to first, and he had to hobble back, and he kind of like was out of the batter's box, kind of like taking a breath, I guess, trying to get through the pain, and then got back in there, and then that's when he hit the homer.
Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe. I missed Vin Scully, Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe. Yeah, I just said that one. Richie said he landed a plane on the Potomac also. Oops, that was Sully, not Scully. My bad. I think that was the East River in New York. Sully landing the plane on the river.
Oh, God. I don't know.
Have you seen that movie? That's incredible.
Great movie. Tom Hanks did a phenomenal job there.
615-737-1045 at 3HL1045. Travis Kelce thought about what to do with Travis Hunter, and he said if he plays both ways, he said this with Taylor Lewan and Will Compton, busting with the boys. He said if he plays both ways, every team should have receivers running deep all day long to try to get
wear him out.
Yeah, to wear him out. I don't know if you can though.
Wear him out?
Yeah, that's the athletic composure of this dude, man. I like the idea.
I think you can wear him out mentally.
Maybe that.
Mm-hmm. Maybe not physically. But
I just think this dude is like, and I'm old enough to remember Deion Sanders playing, and like if people thought they could do that to him, like there's no way.
But hey,
and I think this dude is like him. I think he's that level of a dude.
I don't know about
football player. I'm not saying he could play a baseball playoff game and then go play an NFL
athlete.
He played an NFL playoff game and then played in the World Series in the same day and did well in both.
Yeah, that's just dumb.
I'm not saying that. I'm talking about in terms of football and Deion playing both ways. I think this dude is in that level. Now, Deion's one of the best ever, and he's a Hall of Famer. And when he's got the ball in his hands, he's a different level dude. I'm just saying from an athletic perspective and endurance perspective, I think Travis Hunter is in there.
Travis Henry. Okay. Well, so regardless, let's say you are doing that, you're changing your game plan to have to account for him regardless, right? There's a point there. And then also, like, he's a rookie in this league.
Yeah.
You absolutely are going to be able to wear him out. Hey, there's 17 games in this season. Hey, you want to play both ways. Like, that's really hard to do from a mental prep standpoint alone.
The one thing I keep thinking
depending
about...
on how you deploy him, right?
That's it. The one thing I keep coming back to is what Cosell told us. And he said defensive coordinators, like if he's playing wide receiver and they have a package for him on defense, or if he's playing both, just if he's playing both, for example, he said defensive coordinators are going to put new packages in, and they're going to want practice time out of him. And so there will be kind of a back and forth between OC and DC and all that stuff. And all the meetings. Nowadays. And the meetings, he's got to go to both and all those things. Like,
it's just a different level to be able to do it in the NFL as opposed to college. I get he's a phenomenal athlete, might be one of the best ever, whatever. But, man, the NFL is just different. It's just different. It's different than college. There's so much more of the mental, the mind, the study game that goes with it. On both sides of the ball, and if you're having to learn both,
I don't know how skilled a player he's going to be. I just think
changes every week.
I just think from an endurance standpoint, the thing that he would like to play major college football like that and play over 100 snaps every game, every week, and to practice the way he did and all of those things, like that's next level stuff.
Right.
That's not Brian Jordan. That's not whoever else you want to think of that played two sports or both ways. I kind of lump those guys in together, but
Right, because but that's not really one you think of right off the bat, right?
Brian Jordan. I don't know why I thought of Brian Jordan. Zev, are you proud of me, though? He played for the Braves. By the way, Brian Snitker is first on the list in terms of manager most likely to get fired.
I mean,
the Nationals
it's just time.
The Nationals just fired their manager and head coach.
I know, and that's why this came out. But you know what's funny about that?
With the first
overall pick next week.
Next week.
We're a week away.
And they just got rid of their GM and...
Right, but that's why this list came out today. It said next manager fired, and Brian Snitker is the favorite there. You know what's funny about the Nationals thing? Your best man at the crawfish boil was going on and on to me about how big a Nationals fan he was. Mm-hmm. I think that was him.
Yes.
Yeah, and because I was asking him about Robert Hassel, who's from here, that's playing up there. And he was like, oh, Hassel's great. But let me tell you about the front office. And let me tell you about the manager. Like, they suck. Suck. Like, he was going all in about the Nationals front office and managerial
I felt
position.
like the overwhelming, just fan base reaction was, thank goodness. Like,
he was over.
Even with,
He was over at the house hanging out yesterday when that news dropped. And we were sitting there. The TV was on. We were just sitting outside. And all of a sudden, he just goes, yes! And I was like, what? And he goes, the Nationals fired their manager and their general manager.
That's exactly right. I thought about him when they did that.
Yeah.
They cleaned house.
He was happy.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't even care that we have the first overall pick a week away. Just glad they're gone.
Well, it's hard to screw up the first overall pick, right? In baseball?
There's usually debate about the top 2, 3, 4 guys. Sometimes there's that one overall guy. There was a guy that the Yankees picked. Brian Taylor was his name. This was back in the 90s. I mean, he was the number one guy. Yankees take him, signing bonus, all that stuff. He never panned out, ever. Baseball's hard. It's hard.
Yeah, because you've got to be good enough to make it among all the minor leagues and then get to the majors and then have success in the majors to just stay there.
Yeah. I think hockey's kind of the same way.
Yeah.
Monsoon Monahan said he has to show me in the NFL. I get that, Monsoon, but isn't part of the fun trying to figure out what a guy is going to be at the next level?
Like Cam Ward?
Yes, exactly.
He's going to be good.
I think so, too. Want to talk about it? We will next. 3HL 104.5 The Zone.
Monthly bills keeping you up at night. Maybe you're maxed out on credit cards. Maybe you're struggling with that debt that is high interest. Well, Loan Pronto and their rapid equity loan can help you pay it all off in days. Get cash out now. Don't touch your low rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting. None of that. The rapid equity loan program at Loan Pronto is amazing. They actually had a client who got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours off the equity in their home, paid off debt, renovated a kitchen, and then on top of it, cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. Huge turnaround. Loan Pronto offers instant approvals, low rates, and no hard credit pull up front. So call them now for a free instant appraisal for your home. See how much cash you can get out today. A+ rated by the BBB. I've used them. They were awesome. We got money out to do a backyard project, put a pool in. And it was great, and they were phenomenal to work with. 615-499-5780, loanpronto.com at 615-499-5780, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, on approved credit, NMLS consumeraccess.org.
All right, fellas, listen up out there. Don't live with tiredness and low energy. Get your life back with testosterone therapy at Low T Center. Take the test, get fast results, and start TRT with Nashville's leading experts in men's health. Now it's easier than ever with the new Synergix. That's right, the Synergix Health app. Right there on your phone. An innovation in healthcare technology you won't find anywhere else. Download now or book an appointment while the test is still free at fixmylowt.com. FixMyLowT.com. It's real simple, very simple to do. The apps make it easier when you go in. There's friendly environments in there. The staff is right there and welcoming. It's real easy, man. It's been happening over 25 years. It's changing people's lives and patients' lives. All you got to do is dive in and get that energy right back to where it's supposed to be. You're on the go every day, waiting on those feet to hit the ground and get to moving and not be stressed. Go to lowtcenter.com.
$3HL 104.5 The Zone. Brent Doherty, Don Davenport with you. 3HL is presented by Ferguson Home. Bring your vision to Ferguson Home where it all comes together. FergusonHome.com.
Love them. Love their showroom in Mount Juliet is what I love. Makes me want to redo my entire house. I'm not allowed to go there anymore.
So people are saying, I gotta see him do what he did in college on the next level. I think that's true with every player, right? But maybe more so with this dude because there's so much hype around him playing both ways. But I am intrigued. I would prefer that he were not on Jacksonville because I am interested
Obvious
to see.
Reasons.
Yeah. I am interested to see how it goes. But, if he were playing for the Arizona Cardinals, it'd be a lot easier to be interested in seeing how he does. You know what I mean?
Right.
Also,
Am I being petty?
No.
I think it's fair for people to question if he's going to succeed in the league because he's on Jacksonville. They haven't had a really great track record of developing. I mean, Trevor Lawrence is still a giant question mark, and he's in a second contract. And people still don't know what Trevor Lawrence is.
They need to figure out a way to get the ball in his hands. I know that. That dude is a special kind of athlete. That's for sure.
If he was like if he was on a team like with the Chiefs or like the Rams with Sean McVay or one of those teams where they have proven to develop these offensive talents, then I would not. I don't think there would be as much question around whether or not he could do it in the league. I think because he's on Jacksonville and because of their history and because of their lack of development in these types of prospects, that's why there's so much question around him.
So he did both for the first time in OTAs on June 12th because I texted our friend Joe Cowart, Babs, who works at 1010XL in Jacksonville, does radio down there. Mm-hmm. And I said, where is Travis Hunter spending his time? I know he did both today for the first time, but has he been on one side of the ball consistently? He goes, hey, bro, mainly offense, a little less defense, but today, first time, offense and defense. D was really only last session of team drills, though. So, like, that's funny how National Guy turned that into, he did both today, blah, 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 blah. But last session of team drills, that isn't a lot. It was like,
oh, hey, go have fun. You can go play some D.
Probably like, yeah, we told you we would let you do it. Here's the last session. Last part of the last session.
Can do, yeah.
So I wrote, so he'll be a wide receiver primarily to start. And he said, we need him on D, but you know they want him on offense primarily. So
well, they need him. I mean,
need him everywhere.
You need him everywhere. Similar to the Titans.
I actually have a clip that he sent. Whoa. There we go.
You gonna play it through there?
I was trying
Just put it up to your mic.
I was trying to send it to Seth. Do you know, funny story, the first official guest on 3HL ever, January 2010, was, oh my gosh, how am I blanking on?
Lorenzo Neal.
Lorenzo Neal.
I'm like, I knew this, and I wasn't even on.
Yeah. But the first guest on 3HL was Blaine's mom.
Oh, I remember
R.I.P.
this story.
She called him.
She called, right?
And he was like, why is my mom calling? I told her I have this new job and I'm on the air. And so he answered and put it into the microphone. I'm like, oh, Blaine.
Oh, that's dangerous. You can't be doing that to moms.
Can't put moms in that position.
All right, you sent this to me that day that you got it, so I already have it.
Okay, let's hear it. This is Liam Cohen, the coach down at Jacksonville, talking about Travis Hunter.
I think he's physically grown. I mean, I think you looked at, we had the weight room goals and accomplishments that we had this spring, and he was up there with some of the guys that have put on the most muscle mass since getting here this spring. So I think I've seen a little bit of a physical growth, specifically in his upper half, and also just, I mean, it's a lot of volume, man. You know, it's a lot of volume. This is not an offense specifically that just go out, line up, and play, right? There's a lot of shifts and motions, and
there's skepticism within the staff.
Calls, sometimes 3 calls. So it is a lot. And then him having to obviously do defense as well. So, you know, you see the type of guy that he is. He's in here early, he stays late, and he wants to work. He loves the game, and the growth will continue. I think we'll see a little bit more of a jump once we get into training camp as well.
Okay, so that goes back to your point, which I think is valid, about the mental part of it. Mm-hmm. And if you can get him mentally worn down, because look, he's a rookie. Most rookies are trying to learn offense or defense. He's trying to learn both.
Yeah.
And at that level where he's on the field.
And you just heard the coach say,
that's an interesting
This
aspect.
isn't a simple offense. There's a lot of shifts and motions and whatever. I mean, this is not a, hey, here's your job. Okay, you're good. Go hit the field. I mean, this is a get in the playbook, have to study, know your roles. There's no way. I don't think there's any way he can be successful on both sides of the ball at this level as a rookie. Maybe it comes, but definitely not as a rookie.
Do you think he has the personality to be able to sit down and learn both sides?
Oh yeah, I think so. I just think I think to Don's point,
I think he's smart.
That part of it is going to take a lot of time,
right?
Because the NFL is so drastically different than college football, and
the speed of it.
I think that's why they've got to start him on offense, right? Like you've got to start there. I think
so.
Because he's an explosive athlete. Like, get the ball in his hands.
Yeah.
He can score. Like, how many guys in the league can take it 80 yards?
I'd put him on offense.
So I was going to read this promo. Do you want to just read the promo and record it while we do it live, Zeph? because we have to record this promo for SEC Media Days coming up.
Yeah.
I do first, third, you do middle?
Yeah.
All right, y'all are rolling.
All right.
We're doing it live. We're doing it live.
We'll do
promo.
it live.
So this normally would happen during a break.
Screw it. We'll do it live.
That's right. All right, 3, 2, 1. 104.5 The Zone is going to Atlanta for SEC Media Days.
Yes, tune in next week as 3HL broadcasts live from SEC Media Days, July 14th through the 17th. Hear all the latest SEC news during 4 days of special interviews and conversations you won't get anywhere else. Our SEC Media Day coverage sponsored by Brian's Motorsports and Medical House Calls.
For more information and schedule of interviews, visit 1045thezone.com/events.
Boom.
See how I made you do like most of it?
Yeah.
That was interesting. That's
a whole lot of Davenport in there.
I was being manipulative without trying to be manipulative. Sorry about that, Babsy.
You didn't try?
No.
I don't believe you.
All right, more 3HL next.
What's happening, man? Brentwood Jewelry, BrentwoodJewelry.com. You need a hustle on over there. Why wouldn't you? Because when it comes to exceptional styles and the deals that they bring, it's been happening every day. How long, Slay? For over 50 years. I'm telling you that right now. 7012 Church Street East, located smack dead, boom, in the middle of Brentwood, the heart of it, just off Franklin Road. So you want to go get involved in this engagement? Let me give you 3 things you're going to look for. First, you're going to ask your partner how involved they want to be in choosing the ring. Second, discuss the expectations, not just what style of ring or cut of the diamond. Talk about other expectations too, like the proposal. See, these are things that Zelf knew walking into it. That's why he's on his way. That's why a guy like Will Lee Bowling is on his way. Now, if she wants to be involved, stop by Brentwood Jewelry to browse for rings together and get valuable feedback. If she wants to be surprised, start a conversation, and Brandon and them will take care of it, kind of like your boy did. You get that? Exceptional style, exceptional deals every single day for over 50 years. It won't stop. It's BrentwoodJewelry.com.
Good afternoon. It's 4:01. I'm Joseph Bonanno live from the 104.5 The Zone studios. In NBA news over the weekend, the league's first ever 17 train went down as the Rockets, Hawks, Nets, Warriors, Lakers, Timberwolves, and Suns complete the 17 trade that sends star forward Kevin Durant to Houston with a total of 6 players, 1 first-round draft pick, and 12 second-round draft picks in the historic trade. Nashville Soccer Club extended their unbeaten streak to 14 games as they defeat the Philadelphia Union 1-0 with a Hani Mukhtar penalty kick goal in the 100th minute to give Nashville the victory. Nashville resumes U.S. Open Cup play on Wednesday against D.C. United and returns to MLS play on Saturday against Miami. For your foundation repair and whatever needs you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Balls. This is 104.5 The Zone.
HL 104.5 The Zone. Brent Doherty with you on a beautiful day in the Music City. Oddly, there are a bunch of storms around. Not oddly. I mean, that happens, you know. I don't know why I said oddly.
I mean, oddly, it's storming in the summer.
Also, to correct one thing in the first hour that I know about, Sully put the plane down in the Hudson River.
Oh, yeah. How did we get that wrong?
I don't know, because I can view it, and I know that it's the Hudson River that I'm looking at in my mind's eye, but I still said East River. I don't know why. I don't know why. That was a really bad Robin Leach impersonation, which nobody even knows who that is anymore. Zeph, do you know who Robin Leach is?
I do not.
Do you know, Zeph, that the last time Tennessee won in Tuscaloosa was 2002? How old were you?
I would have been 1. 1 year old.
So you might have, as a baby, been sitting in some kind of contraption back then, like bouncing up and down and drooling in front of a television. But I mean, you've never literally seen Tennessee win at Alabama.
My dad probably had the game on.
Probably did.
Probably had the game on.
Knowing him.
Probably somewhere around there.
That's what I'm saying. So you were like bouncing up and down in one of those contraptions where nobody has to hold you. You can just sit over there for a while. And you're like bouncing up and down. You're probably pooping yourself and you're drooling. And that's how you consumed the last Tennessee win at Alabama.
Yeah, let's change that this year.
No, it might still be the same thing.
Yeah, it probably will. Tennessee, unfortunately, does not have a clear quarterback situation. Quarterback situation right now.
What do you mean?
Do you know who's going to play quarterback for the Vols? Because I sure as heck don't.
I mean, Chris Lowe said don't be surprised to see 2.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
If you got 2 quarterbacks, you ain't got a quarterback.
That's what they say about goaltenders.
That's what I say. I always say that.
You always say that. You always say a lot of things.
Like
Alabama is 11.5-point favorite. Point spreads are out.
Holy moly, that is large.
Living large. Large Marge is in charge.
And like I've seen all these like right now is list season. That's what the summer is. It's list season. Because
I love the list.
Yes, it's list season.
I typically come in with lists. I don't have a list today.
But I've seen several lists.
We kind of do.
I've seen several lists.
We do have a list.
We do?
Yeah, I have betting favorites for the Wooden Award.
Oh.
Which is given to the college basketball's best player.
All right, cool.
Okay, that's not an
but anyways.
Well, 2 of the top 5 players are on the same team.
What team?
Purdue.
Interesting.
Pardon? Sorry.
Her husband's an Indiana fan.
That's what my husband says.
By the way, happy birthday to Travis coming up on Wednesday.
On Wednesday, yeah.
Well.
Anyways, I've seen several lists that like are.
Thanks for reminding me.
What I'm here for.
I've seen several lists ranking the SEC quarterbacks, and like I have seen Joey Aguilar. I haven't seen Merklinger anywhere on these lists. It's all Joey Aguilar.
Yeah, I know. Everyone just assumes that he's going to be the guy, but Chris Lowe did say, and you got to watch these little Chris Lowe nuggets, man. He just floats them by you,
randomly floats them out.
Yeah.
And every time I see one of these lists, it's Joey Aguilar at like 13 to 15.
What, best quarterbacks in the SEC?
Like ranking the quarterbacks in the SEC.
You can't rank him yet. I mean, all we've got is that tape against Clemson where he threw 4 picks and should have had like 7.
And listen, you rank him on that tape against Clemson and he ain't in any list except for bad.
Bad list.
I did see a list today that said Lenore Sellers was going to be the best quarterback in the SEC.
That is quite possible.
Yeah.
So there's debate between him and DJ Lagway.
Those are the top two.
And then there are...
but then there was a Furman nugget that Furman... See, you just have to listen to our show all the time about a Lagway injury.
Oh, yeah.
And you
was it a leg injury?
No, it was a shoulder.
He didn't say. He said
I thought he said it was a shoulder. He didn't say what it was?
Okay. We're just throwing that in.
There'll be some more information that comes out soon on a Lagway.
I forgot to circle back on that with him. Yeah. But he was going over a Lagway total, so I took that to mean whatever the injury concern is behind the scenes that nobody really knows about is not real. So I don't know.
So what are the other point spreads you have?
Yeah, from Sports Source. I was watching them today. Shout out to Tyler and those guys. Tennessee, a 7.5-point underdog to Georgia in the SEC opener. Thanks to FanDuel. Gunnar Stockton's first true road game, though. How much will that play into things? And what do we really know about that guy? Like, I know he came in.
That's what I was going to say.
I think that's why what's Georgia's over-under win total? 9.5? That's the lowest it's been in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because of for them, just like it is for Tennessee, it's because of the quarterback situation.
Right. So that will be Gunnar Stockton's first true road game. You know Neyland's going to be loud as crap. That is a tough environment. Remember DJ Lagway said, or no, it was Mertz. Was it Mertz? It said, no big deal going into Neyland. Remember that? No,
I don't remember that.
No, it was Alabama. It was
Milroe?
It was Jalen Milroe. No big deal going into Neyland Stadium. We've had noise work, blah, 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 blah. And what did they had like 4 false starts in the first half.
Oh, yeah. They had a ton of miscues early.
It was Milroe. For sure it was Milroe.
Why do I remember that but not remember who?
That's like the...
That's a weird sentence.
It's like the Florida State quarterback, Castellanos, saying that...
Oh, that guy.
Saying that they're going to beat Alabama this year.
Yeah, they can't defend him. That's what he said.
Yeah.
He said they don't have Nick Saban over there.
By the way, did you see A.J. McCarron go off on that? And he's not wrong. He was like, you're on the last place team from last year in the ACC.
Yeah.
And even prior to that, you couldn't even win the starting job on the 4th from last place team in the ACC. So
yeah, he's like a 55% passer too, if I remember correctly.
He's like, so
there's a whole lot going on there.
Shut your mouth.
That dude's got a lot of confidence. Castellanos.
Is it fake confidence though? Might be fake confidence.
Real Mike Jones says LMAO, but Tennessee fans consider Bama as a rival. I will point out, Real Mike Jones, that Tennessee has beaten Alabama 2 of the last 3 years. There is that.
So it's fair. It's fair. Right?
Now, again, they haven't won in Tuscaloosa since Zeph was pooping diapers in front of the television.
I think the overall record between Tennessee and Alabama, I think it's like 59, 40, and 1 in Alabama's favor.
Well, yeah.
But I needed to clarify. Okay. Some Tennessee fan might be like, no. Alabama's still in the
So you're saying it's really not that far off.
19 games.
Gunnar Stockton, first true road game. Georgia has won 8 in a row against the Vols. They've won 4 straight in Knoxville, and none of those are closer than 24 points in margin. That's the Georgia story. Alabama, 11.5-point favorite over Tennessee and Tuscaloosa. Tennessee, as I just pointed out, has won 2 of 3 against the Tide. How much pressure is on Kalen DeBoer? That's one question. Now, I am of the opinion.
There is?
Yeah.
Yeah, after missing the playoffs last year,
They missed the playoffs. They lost to Vanderbilt. They lost to Tennessee. Yes.
I don't know.
It's Alabama.
I know, but you're replacing the legend.
Exactly.
The GOAT.
Exactly. That's where the pressure comes from.
That's right.
You were brought in as the successor to Nick Saban. That is Kalen DeBoer's legacy at Alabama, is the successor to Nick Saban, and so far he hasn't lived up to it.
Okay.
At least for fans, the pressure is.
So would you put Kalen DeBoer on the hot seat?
No.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't say that. I didn't say he's on the hot seat.
But
I think there's I know there's fan pressure. I know Alabama fans that are like,
but there's fan pressure on Josh Heupel. There's a ton of fan pressure on Hugh Freeze.
And look, so
there's fan pressure on Shane Beamer. I mean, there were people that wanted him fired at the beginning of the year.
So with Josh Heupel, I think there is now this is interesting, who has more pressure, Cam DeBoer or Josh Heupel, because Josh Heupel, if you remember...
DeBour lost to its arch rival last year. He's 0-1 against Josh Heupel. He's 0-1 against Vanderbilt. I mean,
with Heupel...
Listen, a lot of my friends are Alabama fans. I hear about it all the time. Like, they are seriously questioning DeBoer. I think it's fandom getting them, and, like, take a step back.
And they're spoiled.
Maybe that. Take a step back. And I think they're going to be really good this year. I think Ty Simpson. They also have the guy that DeBoer brought from Washington, right? So we'll see what happens there. But I think they have some offensive firepower this year that'll be more like DeBoer's system. Not that Jalen Milroe wasn't that.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
that's fair. I think that Josh Heupel's pressure is lessened with the Nico drama.
See, I think it is increased with it because
you do
because he stood his ground against the quarterback and refused to pay the 5-star quarterback that was supposed to.
It wasn't really
that, but it was supposed to be the same. Yeah, but he's the one who came out and said nobody's bigger than the T. It was Josh Heupel versus Nico. That is what the public. That's what the media and the public made it. Is Josh Heupel versus Nico. Josh Heupel said nobody's bigger than the T. He's the one who said those words. And I think that's what people are focusing on, is that he was willing to roll the dice on one of the younger quarterbacks or a transfer guy. And that's where I think the pressure is because, okay.
This is fascinating to me because I think it's completely opposite.
And here's what I think is that, okay, Josh Heupel, you decided to roll the dice. Can you develop one of these young guys? Because Nico didn't really, Nico only had, I guess he had 2 years.
Well,
he didn't really show development.
You do have the number one quarterback in America coming in next year.
That is true.
Mayor, where are you on because of the Nico stuff? We're not talking Heupel, none of that.
No, I don't know.
We're just talking about the pressure and the expectation, all of that. I think that it goes down with no Nico. Zeph says absolutely not. He thinks there's even more pressure because of the whole situation.
I don't. I think Tennessee fan is, maybe this is a generational thing between me and you because we both come at it from a love of Tennessee. But I think the expectation level is lowered this year.
That's what I thought.
Because of the quarterback situation.
I think it's almost an excuse, a built-in excuse.
And I think, you've got Faison coming in. He's working on the number one receiver in the country and tweeting at him and all this stuff. Like, they could have a really big recruiting year and transfer portal year. So then they get Florida and Alabama back at home again next year. The thing about Bama, though, and this is where – so DeBoer won 9 games, right? Ryan Williams had the comment that is unacceptable, and he's right at Alabama. He said – the last time Alabama failed to win double-digit games, I wasn't even alive. That's what Ryan Williams said. And you do have to go back to Nick Saban's first year in 2007. That's the last time Alabama did not have double-digit wins. That is an incredible run.
That's insane. That is insane.
Right?
I just think the pressure with Josh Heupel.
That's why I think there's pressure on DeBoer.
If DeBoer football now, though,
I completely understand. But if DeBoer doesn't get to the playoff and wins 9 again, doesn't win 10,
I completely agree with that.
And has a clunker loss,
and then you're like Georgia and you're firing a guy who wins 9-10 games. Crazy.
615-737-1045.
We'll take that at Auburn.
Mr. Keith says Bama's reign is over. Do y'all really believe that?
Yes. But I don't think it's necessarily because Saban's gone. I think it has to do with the landscape of college football and NIL and transfer portal.
And I think that's why Nick Saban got out.
And I think that's exactly why. I mean, he said that.
Yeah, he said it was part of it, but I think it's a bigger part than what he's letting on.
I agree.
More even playing ground.
Yeah.
Yeah. Florida is a 3-point favorite against Tennessee in Gainesville. That's an interesting one.
Say that again?
Florida is favored by 3 over Tennessee in Gainesville. Now, again, Tennessee hasn't won in Gainesville in forever.
That, and again, don't know the quarterback situation with Tennessee going on in a hostile environment. The Swamp is a pretty difficult place to play.
Yes.
I The fact that it's only 3 kind of surprises me because I feel like a lot of people are high on DJ Lagway.
Very high.
So
I mean, he's a top 3 Heisman front runner, isn't he?
So the fact that
he's up there,
the fact that it in the swamp and it's only 3 is interesting to me, especially with how unknown the Tennessee quarterback situation is.
Well, and especially when you're looking at it's 11 against Georgia.
11 against Tuscaloosa, and it's 7 at home for Georgia.
Georgia, yeah.
So
That's surprising.
Last time Tennessee won in Gainesville, Zeph, you were 2. So now you've got like a teething ring as you bounce up and down in front of the same television.
And I'm acting terrible.
Some things never change.
Crawling around, screaming.
I'm probably screaming because Tennessee's losing to Florida, let's be honest.
Maybe. But that's 10.
Oh, no, they won that year.
That's 10 games in a row. Yes. That was, that'd be Casey Clausen in 2000.
That's in Gainesville.
3? Yeah, 24-10. Would that have been Clausen? Was that the game that Clausen, right before halftime, threw it up to Billy Williams in the end zone and Billy Williams caught it for a touchdown? It was basically a Hail Mary. Anyway, not a lot of highlights. I went to 2 Tennessee games in Gainesville in the 90s, and one of them they were up huge at halftime and then got spanked 62-37 or something. And it rained its ass off. It sucked.
Who's the worst fan base in the SEC?
Okay, worst as in annoying.
I was just thinking about that. Just because I'm like, I know how crazy Florida fans are.
As in, like, worst as in the most annoying or as in the least supporting?
Listen, on the front end.
No, most annoying, most obnoxious.
On the front end of this, everybody's got that percentage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
talking about
to generalize a fan base.
Yes.
Georgia fans.
I think most people
barking
would
at people is insane.
Georgia fans are pretty obnoxious.
Yes.
Sorry, Dane in the chat.
I had a great time in Athens. We went to a game there, and then I had a not so great time in Athens. Now that I think about it, somebody threw a beer bottle at us.
I'm trying.
Yeah, it's Georgia fans.
But I mean, Florida fans threw urine on Vicky Fulmer. Like, that's a true story.
I feel like Florida's usually up there.
I have never had a bad experience with Alabama fans. I'll say that. I've had a great time with LSU fans. Now,
LSU fans are great. Pre-game, tailgating, all of that.
They say tiger bait to you nonstop, like incessantly.
If you're bothered, then...
Yeah, but then they'll invite you into their tailgate.
Alabama fans are a little stuck up, but they're not. I don't think they're like obnoxious.
No,
they can be a little stuck up because rightfully so. They've won so much in the last.
I saw Tennessee. I've been to 2 Tennessee Alabama games at Alabama. One was in Birmingham. One was at Tuscaloosa, and maybe I should go this year. Tennessee is 2-0 when I see them play in Alabama.
Well, come on, Mayor.
Yeah, what do you
make it happen?
And both times, Alabama fans after the game were like, I mean, congratulations, 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 good game. I mean, not one bad thing to say about Alabama fans. All right, worst fan base? Is that how you want to roll with this, or craziest, or both?
Most obnoxious.
Most obnoxious.
Most obnoxious is
that's
SEC. Such a Dawn question, too. I like that.
Such a me question. Well, because NFL is like that's a super easy answer. It's the Ravens, and there is no other answer. But in the SEC, I was thinking about it because I'm like, God, for the most part, like, I don't know.
615-737-1045 if you want in. Most obnoxious fan base. Also, Mr. Keefe, Vandy has a good chance to be 5-0 when they play at Alabama. I do have that point spread, too.
Ooh,
Vanderbilt at Alabama. I'll share that with you when we come back. Also, we'd love to hear from you, your perspective, where you've been, where the fan base is the most obnoxious. 615-737-1045. Change is always happening. Hey, it's a part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten, classics are remixed, bands, artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. But no matter how things change in 5 years, there's one thing that will stay the same: the price of your internet. Xfinity is introducing a 5-year price guarantee. It means you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with their best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years guaranteed. Learn more at Xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees are extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed broadband experience. Report August 2024.
All right, y'all. It's time. Time for who? Bart Durham injury law. Now, you know, I tell you all the time, how life can change in an instant. And it's up to you to understand how you can get over that. Get through it. Not over it. Get through it. Because they ain't going to run from it. Car wreck throws off everything. Job, bills, peace of mind. And that's when you need them. Who? Bart Durham injury law. Now, Marine veteran Blair Durham, him and his team been fighting for folks in Tennessee for years, making sure insurance companies pay up. No upfront costs, no waiting around, just real people making sure you get what you deserve. So listen, accidents happen. That's what you got to understand. But it's not always your fault. And if it is your fault, still understand that you got a leg to stand on. Not like my knee. But if you've been injured, don't wait. Call Bart Durham Injury Law at 615-242-9000. Here 24/7 and ready to fight for you.
3HL 1045. This Chris Lowe is on vacation, but he is going to hop on. I told him, man, you're on vacation. He's like,
the best.
I can do 520. So he's going to do Chris Lowe at 520. OU AD, Oklahoma's AD stepped down. Joe Castiglione, longest tenured guy. And so I'm trying to think of
the next longest tenured.
No, who might have had ties to him. The guy at Mississippi State, I'm not familiar with very much, but he had ties to him. There's one other guy. I don't know. Also, by the way, less than 8 weeks until the first full Saturday of college football games.
Yes.
Now, there are games before that first Saturday, but that's the first full Saturday. The first game is 46 days away. The first games are 46 days away. Western Kentucky plays on that first night, as a matter of fact. So, Babs...
on that Thursday?
Yeah. Babs organically asked to... I think it's August 23rd, maybe? Maybe that's a Saturday, too, come to think of it.
August 23rd is a Saturday.
Yeah. Now you got me looking it up. Because I just flipped through it today.
So is it August 21st or August 23rd? I mean, the
first FBS games are Saturday, August 23rd.
Okay.
I thought there was one in Ireland, though. Then there's Thursday, August 28th.
Yeah. And 29th, 30. I mean, then we're on, baby.
Yeah, Sam Houston at Western Kentucky at Houchin Stadium in Bowling Green, 6 o'clock, August 23rd on CBS Sports Network.
I love it.
You like it? You love it?
I want some more of it.
Kansas hosting Fresno State. Kansas State hosting Iowa State. That's pretty good. Kansas State favored by 3 right now.
Yeah, that's a good game.
That's the game in Ireland right there. Okay. 11 a.m. on ESPN, Saturday, August 23rd. That's 46 days away, y'all.
I mean, it's right around the corner. SEC Media Days is next week.
Yes, it is. We already cut our promo live. We did our job.
Talking season
is here. 615-737-1045. Babsy, organically, because we were talking about football.
And really, it was Florida that the fact that Tennessee hasn't won in Tuscaloosa since Zeph was 1 and hasn't won in Florida since Zeph was 2 years old.
Thanks for the reminder.
Yeah, anytime.
we're just putting everything on Zeph's age.
Yeah, so it made me think.
How old was Zeph when this happened? When 9/11 happened, you were like 3 months old or something, right?
Yeah.
June 2001, so somewhere around there.
3 months. How about that? Vols are favored by 12.5 against Syracuse in Atlanta.
It's going to be a good one.
The Titans are a 7-point underdog at Denver in the opener. Full touchdown at Denver in the opener.
That's not a surprise.
And
rookie quarterback.
Somebody brought up Vanderbilt being 5. He thinks they'll be 5-0 when they play at Alabama. I have the point spread for that game. Alabama is favored at home over Vanderbilt, 22.5.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, Vandy can't get no respect. You hear that, Pavia?
You hear that?
No respect.
Okay, so they said 5-0 before they face Alabama?
Yeah, I hadn't gotten to their schedule yet.
I got it right here. So week 1, Saturday, August 30th.
Charleston,
Yeah,
right?
Charleston Southern.
Okay.
In Nashville. Then they go to Virginia Tech.
Who's looking for revenge.
And then they go to South Carolina. I don't think they win that game.
No, Sellers is tough, man.
Yeah, I don't. That South Carolina game's tough.
I will say that if I'm Vanderbilt, I love having Langston Patterson going up against that guy at linebacker. I think Langston Patterson is one of the more underrated players in SEC football.
Then you get a revenge game versus Georgia State.
Vandy wins that one. They're 3-1 or 2-2. I'll go 3-1.
And then Utah State at home.
4-1.
Yeah, I don't see that.
4-1, 3-2.
I don't see them beating South Carolina.
Oh, I don't either.
Not if Lenora Sellers is what we think Lenora Sellers is going to be.
Correct.
Or what he was at the end of the year.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, Clemson couldn't do anything with him. The at Virginia Tech thing, that's at 6:30 at night in September. Is that after the time change? Like, will it be dark?
Ooh.
It doesn't matter. It's at Virginia Tech, right?
Yeah, but you get the night game with the Enter Sandman intro.
Yeah, but it's enough of a night game to where it's going to be jacked.
It'll be dark before that game is even close to over.
Oh, right. I know.
Same with the South Carolina game on the September 13th.
So
where's the South Carolina game?
At South Carolina. It's either at 6 or 6:45. So again, another night game.
Yeah.
It's a tough place to play.
Yes, it is.
Especially at night.
Tennessee knows. Ruin their season.
You always come back to Tennessee. Everybody knows it's hard to play there, even when they're not very good. 615-737-1045. Tommy in Nashville. We were talking about most obnoxious fan bases. Tommy, what's up?
Yeah, thanks. The most obnoxious, I'm saying today, but back when Spurrier was the coach, was definitely the Florida fans. Mm-hmm. I went to an away game down there, and not only were the fans cocky, police personnel, security guards. If you were in the Tennessee section and you went up to get some food or a drink during the game and you didn't have your ticket on you, they wouldn't let you go back to your seat. They detained Lamar Alexander because he got up during the game and got something to drink. And when he went back to sit down, they said, "Where's your ticket?" And he didn't have it. So he had to wave up there to where his buddies were to come down there so he could get to go back to his seat. So it was definitely bad back in the day. And this is going to show how old I am, but the last time I went to a away Alabama game, I'm a Tennessee fan, we played them in Birmingham, and we won in the fourth quarter, and it was the 12th straight time I think we had beat them in a row. So times have really changed.
Yeah, it's a very streaky series. I think what was Nick Saban? 16-1 against Tennessee? Something like that.
Yep.
Very streaky series. Thank you, Tommy. And that's a good point.
That brings up a great point of how the fan bases have changed over the years.
Yeah, you mentioned that during the break. I thought that was a really good secondary question because my experience with Florida fans at Florida was in the 90s when they were rolling with Steve Spurrier. And here's the other thing. Back then, you could leave, like the Florida students could leave the stadium at halftime, go right across the street to the frat houses, get belligerent again, and come back in. And so, like, the noise level, it's the loudest place I've ever been in my life. Neyland Stadium's had moments like that, too, where you cannot hear the next person next to you, even if they're screaming at you. But the mid-90s Florida stuff in the swamp, that's loud. I've been to 2 LSU night games, and it does not compare with what I experienced there.
Really?
Mm-mm. And LSU at night is incredible.
Is special.
And
LSU at night's special.
We all have, like, game experiences that are incredible, but one of the most fun times I had at an SEC game was I went with my friend Ken Newton he's a big Alabama fan. We went to LSU Alabama in Baton Rouge. So I didn't have a dog in the hunt, Babs. I was having a ball, man. Yeah. There was none of that like pregame like anticipation or, I don't know. I just had fun, And LSU fans were awesome, like I said, my experience. Kentucky football fans were awesome. Slay made a good point in a text that we had. He said, I think it's different sport to sport, which this developed out of a football discussion. But
we can keep it on sport. Yeah, we can keep it on football.
But that was a great point by him that I didn't think about.
Totally true. Totally true. Because Kentucky fans in basketball would probably win that.
And you could have. Now, I will say this: when Florida won with the ridiculous Alama Matthews call of a touchdown that wasn't a touchdown in the end zone, when Travis Henry went off for like 200 or 180 yards and 3 touchdowns, and Jabbar Gaffney, the ball basically bounced off his chest, and they called it a touchdown, and so. Tennessee fan, I don't think I've ever seen Tennessee fans as a fan base leaving a game more pissed than that. And Florida fans were great.
Really?
And at least the ones I was around leaving the stadium because I think they knew, okay, we just walked out of here with I'm just glad to have this dub. Let's get out of here. It's fine.
I think back in the day, and
that was a lot more recent. Well, it's still a long time ago.
Back in my day, I would say. Back when I was in school, I would definitely say Florida or Georgia. Now,
y'all had a thing with Georgia.
Right. We had a thing with Georgia. When I was at Auburn, and even, I think, a little bit afterwards, but it was always the away team that would win in that Auburn-Georgia rivalry. So it was always really ugly. Gator Mike on Twitter said, is this even a question? UT fans call themselves the everything school, but what have they won besides the baseball natty?
I mean, they've had tremendous athletic success. That's very
Dowdy
well documented.
Said, I love y'all, but Tennessee fans are up there in basketball. As a Kentucky fan in TBA, it's awful.
Blake Neely says, as a Vol fan, I've got the Vol fans in the top 2 most obnoxious in the SEC.
I would put Tennessee up there.
He said, not the worst, but obnoxious for sure. The bright orange or hearing Rocky Top just pisses people off. Love it. He said he loves it.
Rocky Top does piss people off. And I always say, everybody knows I'm not a Tennessee fan. Obviously, I graduated from Auburn. But I have a lot of, clearly, Tennessee fans, and I work with 3. Yeah. But I always say, I'm like, other fan bases are kind of jealous of the Rocky Top thing.
Rocky Top's cool.
It is really one of the coolest things.
I mean, there's some elements to that song that are pretty weird lyrically, but
yeah, but
well, then that's when you just play the Pride of the Southland version.
It's cool though. 615-737-1045. Dane says Vandy fans are the best. They're very quiet.
Yes,
because there's not that many of them.
Listen, I have not heard a single person say that Auburn's fan base is obnoxious because Auburn fans are so nice, so nice.
I've not been to a game at Auburn.
All?
I've seen Auburn play Tennessee in Knoxville several times and never had any trouble with them.
We got to make that happen.
Do you think Alabama fans would agree with you, Don?
Yes.
That they're nice?
Yes.
Do you agree with me when I say Alabama fans are nice?
No.
Yeah, okay. Then I don't think there's any Alabama fans that say Auburn fans are nice. I don't think there's any Auburn fans that say Alabama fans are nice.
As long as we're talking point spreads, early point spreads for college football games, that Alabama-Auburn line is only 6.
Rivalry, man. Rivalry. And it's like, okay, Hugh's going to get them going. Might take a little bit with this quarterback, but by the end of the season, by the time they see Alabama, they're going to have it together. That's right. That's right.
615-737.
Into existence. What did I send you guys this over the weekend? The scientists that basically claim we do live in the Matrix and that it's all our brains doing all of this, making all our own realities. That's right.
Making things come true.
Mm-hmm. Auburn, national championship run. Here we go.
Our guy, Blake Krieger. Don't forget the mustard bottle game against Ole Miss. Yeah, Tennessee fans that day. Woo.
That was...
that game alone.
They were living up to the obnoxious.
But do you know what was funny about that game to me is all the calls we got saying, "Oh, Tennessee fans throwing stuff on the field." I'm like, that happens all the time. Where have you guys been? And then all the
time.
After that happened, it was like incident after incident after incident after incident. Like, it happens all the time.
I mean, Texas
doesn't make it right.
Texas did it in a game against Georgia.
Yeah.
Or was it Georgia? No, was it Georgia that did it against Texas? It was in that Georgia-Texas game.
Do you guys remember? It was like 3 weeks, I think, after that. I went and worked a Baylor-Texas Tech game. And it happened...
Just a random Baylor-Texas Tech game.
Random Baylor-Texas Tech game. And it happened in the middle of that game.
Yeah. Speaking of Texas fans, kind of obnoxious too. Because,
they just haven't been in the SEC long enough for, like, everybody to be able to really witness them.
I hate the the overly air of confidence that they just brought in, and I hate that they had success when their first year too. Like that's what makes it
have it again.
That's what makes it worse is that they come into the SEC and they talk all this game and it's like, oh, it's just the SEC. Like we're gonna be here, and then it's like, no, you're not. You haven't played an SEC schedule, and then
I picked them to win the SEC last year.
I'm talking about like for fans, SEC fans saying that to Texas fans, and then they go out and win the SEC. So
Dane Roman Yampolsky is the guy you're thinking about. The Matrix guy, yeah.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Dane. Ha. Look at that. I'm not totally crazy.
The best part of the Ole Miss Tennessee ridiculousness was when somebody threw the golf ball and Lane Kiffin caught it.
He picked up, put in his pocket, and he had it post game.
I think it's in his office.
I think it's framed.
Yeah.
I had a chance to go. I had a chance to go to that game, and I decided to stay home. And I'm a little upset at myself that I didn't.
That's one of the loudest places I've ever been. That game right there. That was the first time that Neyland Stadium doled out the LED lights.
Oh yeah,
it was incredible. And that's when Ole Miss was faking injuries after every play.
Yep.
And the guy, we were sitting behind the Ole Miss bench, and every time the guy would just immediately start walking around. You're like, dude.
All right. Do you think it was a first down?
Oh, geez. Here we go.
Oh, no. Oh.
Here we go.
He looked short on TV.
Yeah. Okay.
By the way, just for the record, every year we request Lane Kiffin at SEC Media Days. Every year. And I've covered Kiff a ton, right? He's awesome.
Yeah, he knows you personally.
Yes, love Kiff. Never stops at any radio station on Radio Row at SEC Media Days. Now, granted, he does all the ESPN, SEC, he's pulled in 8 million different directions because he's such a big personality, right? Yeah. But our request is in. Our request is most likely denied.
Denied, Davenport. There's alliteration there.
So if you feel the need to tweet Lane Kiffin and tell him that he needs to go on 3HL with Dawn, Mayer, and Slay, go for it.
I think him and Slay would have a blast.
He would have a blast with that. He's been on before.
Put Kevin in the boom boom room?
Yeah.
Oh
my God.
Kiff would be amazing in the boom boom
room. All right,
room.
when we come back.
So tweet him, y'all.
Yeah, tweet him.
Tell him. Make some space for 3HL in Atlanta next week.
Yes, I love this grassroots campaign.
That's right,
Babs.
grassroots.
This is your first political movement.
Let's see if we can get Kiff on.
Yeah, they wouldn't let you on the school board. So,
Denied. They wouldn't let me be a crossing guard.
That's right. That's a tough blow.
Tried to be a crossing guard.
I mean, they knew that you would end up yelling at cars.
Oh, I'd be chasing them down.
In the 5 o'clock hour, we have audio. Cam Ward is impressed with Titans wide receiver Calvin Ridley that you want to hear. We'll also talk with Chris Lowe. But when we come back, I've got weird note number 1, weird note number 2, and Big Jeff with a big surprise at Community Day in his hometown of Macon, Mississippi.
So cool.
Yeah. All that next, 3HL 104.5 The Zone. 3HL 104.5 The Zone. Brett Doherty, Don Davenport, executive producer of 3HL is Zeph.
What's up?
Slay still working that knee out. Hoping he'll be back soon. We need him. We miss him. I know y'all need him too. I know y'all miss him too. 615-737-1045. Seven-time Wimbledon champion Novak Djokovic had never lost a first set at Wimbledon by a score of 6-1 or 6-love. He did today. He lost 6-1 in the first set today to Alex de Minaur. He's looking to have he went on to win, by the way, in advance. He's looking to have the most Grand Slam titles. He's got 24. He's currently tied with Margaret Court with 24, trying to get to that 25. He's also trying to catch Roger Federer with 8 Wimbledon titles. Djokovic, still rolling, man. Still rolling. All right. Weird note number 1. Did you know, Don Davenport, that the word newspaper actually stands for something? Have you seen this?
No.
It actually stands for something.
Okay.
Here is what it stands for, Don Davenport. It must be true. I saw it on the internet.
Oh, geez.
North, east, west, south. That's news. Past and present, PAP. Event report, ER.
No way.
North, east, west, south, past and present event report newspaper. Yeah. How about that?
Where did you find that?
That's a weird note number 1. I don't know. It was under the weird note section of my brain. No, I did find it somewhere. I don't remember.
Okay.
Weird note number 2.
I had no idea, and I have a journalism degree. There you go.
Newspaper. North, east, west, south, past and present, event report. Weird note number 2. This one from the show Friends. This will make you feel old. Monica and Chandler's twins this year would be 21 years old.
What?
Phoebe's triplets would be 27.
Oh, jeez.
Emma, Ross and Rachel's kid, would be 24. And Ben, his son, would be 30. How about that? Weird note number 2.
I hate that.
I'm out of weird notes, though. So that's the good part. How about Jelly Roll showing up to support Big Jeff's Community Day in Mississippi?
Yeah, that was cool.
Simmons tweeted, y'all just don't know how much this meant to me and my city. Thanks for making my day special at Jelly Roll 615. Simmons hosted his annual Community Fun Day in his hometown of Macon, Mississippi, which is pretty close to Starkville and pretty close to Tuscaloosa. It's like southeast of Starkville and southwest of Tuscaloosa. Could you imagine Big Jeff at Alabama? Had he gone to Alabama?
No.
Man. He just, I don't know. I mean, big fish, small pond, definitely. And
Mississippi guy.
Jelly Roll ended up performing. He had not been announced as a performer.
That's amazing.
How cool is that?
Showed up with had a Simmons jersey and everything.
Is that like when Taylor Swift did that impromptu concert at Tight End U?
Yeah.
Do you remember when, that was over at Brooklyn Bowl. Do you remember when Jelly Roll came on 3HL? You may have been gone that day.
I was gone. I was mad that I missed it.
Yeah, we were over at First Horizon Park, and they were about to do the celebrity softball game. Slay was involved in that celebrity softball game, and so was Jelly Roll. So Jelly Roll came on the show, and he sat there right in the concourse with us. And we were talking about growing up, who was your team? And he said, well, I grew up here. My team was the Titans. And he said, he gave us a very descriptive story about being in juvie. Like, for people outside of Nashville don't understand that Juvenile Hall is on the same property as Nissan Stadium. Mm-hmm. It's right next door.
It's right across the street. We parked there before.
Yeah. And so Jelly Roll said that he could hear games from inside juvie when he was in juvie.
Oh, my gosh.
And so I know that meant a lot to Big Jeff, but I also know that it meant a lot to Jelly Roll after having spent some time with him. Slay and him got along really well. Slay got to, I was like, what'd you do in the celebrity softball game? He's like, I drank and, had fun, told stories, talked to people.
That's right.
I was going to
At least he didn't do a first pitch.
I was going to do one more, yes. First pitch with a softball would be very difficult. Cam Ward is impressed with Titans wide receiver Calvin Ridley. We will play that audio for you when we come back. This is 3HO.
Time to upgrade those windows in your home. Maybe you really realize it now since we had some 100-degree days. Well, who you need to call is Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. Pella celebrating 100 years in business this year, which means, they're doing something right if they've been around for that long. Founded in 1925, lifetime warranties on all their products. And on top of it, Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville also backs up their work with an extra warranty, a 10-year labor warranty, which is leading in the industry. They have the staff in place to support you, the customer, and you can just go look on Google and see how many people love their Pella windows and love the entire process of getting new windows through Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. And I can say I have lots of windows and doors from Pella, and they are the best. Also, they let me give you a Dawn deal, which is a different deal every single month. And for the month of July, it's one of the best, 60% off qualifying installations plus 0% APR for 36 months. Ask them about it. Schedule your free consultation. Check out that offer, the Dawn deal, at PellaNashville.com.
Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, SpringHillAC.com. They are the heating and cooling company that can take care of all your HVAC needs. It's time to tune up things, man. Schedule your 21-point tune up for only $69. Watch Kevin and the fam take care of you. The doors opened up in 2011, and while raising his family, and they got a new addition. Salute to the baby girl being born. But they treat you just like such. Family. They're family owned and operated, so they treat you the exact same way. If you need a new unit, they got you covered. Get up to 60 months, no interest financing with approved credit. That's real simple. Now, if you called another company about your unit, and not sure if you agree, Spring Hill also gives free second opinions. So you can always be confident and understand that you are getting the best and honest price. They also do free service calls, so give them a call. It's real simple to do. They will have repairs plus low monthly payments on those repairs. All you got to do is go to SpringHillAC.com.
Good evening. It's 5:02. I'm Joseph Bonanno, live from the 104.5 The Zone studios. In NBA news over the weekend, the league's first ever 7-team trade went down as the Rockets, Hawks, Nets, Warriors, Lakers, and Timberwolves and Suns complete a 7-team trade that sends star forward Kevin Durant to Houston with a total of 6 players, 1 first-round draft pick, and 12 second-round draft picks. Nashville SC extended their unbeaten streak to 14 matches as they defeated Philadelphia Union 1-0 with a Hani Mukhtar penalty kick goal in the 100th minute to give Nashville the victory. Nashville resumes U.S. Open Cup play on Wednesday against D.C. United, then returns to MLS play on Saturday against Miami. For your foundation repair, waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Balls. This is 104.5 The Zone.
H L 104.5 The Zone. Brent Doherty with you on a beautiful Monday in the Music City. Hope you had a great and safe 4th of July holiday weekend. We're headed towards it now. Football happens next month.
It kind of happens next week in Atlanta.
Kind of does. SEC Media Day is coming up, and we will be there. Tune in next week. It's 3HL Broadcast Live from SEC Media Days, July 14th through the 17th. That's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? Yes. And hear all of the latest SEC news during the 4 days of special interviews and conversations that you won't get anywhere else. Our SEC Media Day coverage is sponsored by Brian's Motorsports and Medical House Calls. For more information, 1045thezone.com/events. And we typically enjoy, we love the coaches, and we'll do that. But we typically like getting to know the players and getting their backstory and what led them to there, and putting them in the boom boom room.
The boom boom room.
And I would argue that we get things out of a lot of those guys that most people don't.
Yeah, I've learned stuff about some of the players that we've had over the last couple of years in the boom boom room that a lot of people don't even know. There have not been articles written, things like that. So it's really a lot of fun. It's interesting. Schedule-wise, it's LSU, Ole Miss, South Carolina, and Vandy on Monday. Auburn, Georgia, Tennessee, Texas on Tuesday. You like how they put Tennessee and Texas together?
They did that last year, too, didn't they?
Yep, they did.
Wednesday, Alabama, Florida, Mississippi State, and Oklahoma. And then Thursday, Arkansas, Kentucky, Mizzou, and Texas A&M.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
I think my favorite interview y'all did last year was Jade Barron.
Yeah,
he was charismatic.
Like
he was charismatic. And look at him, first-round pick, going to Denver.
He was good.
And the Titans will face him week 1.
And they're a 7-point underdog currently. Fire Brinker this month, Hall of Fame game. That's true. Thank you for staying on me about that. That is true. The Hall of Fame game is quickly approaching.
Who's in that again?
Lions and somebody, right? I read it the other day.
Is it the Chargers? I think it's the Chargers.
I don't know. You could have told me it's the Toronto Argonauts. And
why does nobody care about the Hall of Fame game?
Because it's
so early.
I do. What do you mean?
I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, yeah, just
I just think a lot of people are like that about preseason football, but at least it's football.
As a whole, I just feel like the Hall of Fame game, I think because it's so early, people
I was
are like,
right. It's the Chargers and Lions.
You were right, and I was right.
No, we were right.
We got there. Teamwork. Okay. Made the dream work. Don Davenport is here, y'all.
What up?
Very enthusiastic, Don.
What up? What up, people?
It's Monday. Yay.
It's every bit of it. 3HL is presented by Ferguson Home. Bring your vision to Ferguson Home where it all comes together. Check out the new location, South Mount Juliet Road. That's Providence Marketplace. Phenomenal. We were out there.
God, it's so pretty.
Slay, man. He tried everything out. That was funny. He was sitting in tubs and everything.
On toilets.
Yeah.
Outdoor area. He did it all.
Look, and they have things for all of your budgets, including if you're in the market for a $14,000 toilet, they do have that.
Yes.
And Don Davenport walked up to that thing and it...
talk to me.
Yeah. it lifted when she got close.
You know what's so crazy? When we were in Vegas, we did a night where we found all these like secret speakeasies.
Cool.
Yeah, like there's a bunch on TikTok and social media, and so we like made a list and checked them all. Yeah. So the Bellagio has one. So you can only imagine how swanky that one is, right?
Mm-hmm.
I went to the bathroom there, and it had one of those toilets.
No.
It talks to you. The seat's heated. Like cleans itself. It like comes up. The lights come on. It has a bidet. All the things. And
lights,
I was like,
speakers.
I know that this is a $14,000 toilet thanks to Ferguson. Look at you, Bellagio.
I think the buildings in Europe need to go to Ferguson because AC
tough time over there.
AC doesn't exist in Europe.
Yeah, there is no AC.
They have not gotten to that part of human invention
because they
yet.
usually don't need it, right?
Yeah.
They needed this summer. I tell you, they needed this summer.
Yeah.
Also, free water is something that I take that I did not take. That I did not appreciate enough.
Mm-hmm.
I took too much for granted.
Yeah.
Free water and ice water, that as well.
Yeah. No ice. You just drink wine.
How was the food in Italy? Oh, you didn't go to Italy.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, you did. You went to Rome. That's right.
The 2 carbonaras I had were fantastic.
Why did you get the same dish?
I did. No, I tried different dishes. But my last day, I wanted another carbonara before we left. It was literally right before we went to the airport.
Okay.
And I was like, I've got to get it. So I tried carbonara. I tried paella in Spain. I had empanadas in Spain.
What was your favorite?
The carbonara in Italy.
Yeah.
It was That's why I got it again because I was like, my last day I got it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It was.
Did you
I was about to
do
crack on you,
pizza
but-
there?
I did. I had a margarita pizza for dinner one night.
Mm-hmm.
So how different tasting was the Italian food to you than what we get here?
You can definitely tell that the pasta, how fresh it is, compared to like what you get over here.
Yeah.
Like it's just got a different, like the texture is like a lot, like you can tell it was rolled and made that same day or afternoon or whatever.
There's a place in Cool Springs that they always have one type of pasta that is freshly made that day. I forget the name of it. It's over by a Moment's Peace, though, Dawn. Dang it. I forget the name of it, but it's so good. And every time I get, my mom and I like to go there. Every time I go there, I get whatever the fresh pasta is.
It's
different.
I don't want to call it doughy, but it feels a little doughier than, it feels more like bread than it does. Like the pasta here tastes like it's almost rubber.
I don't think anybody in Italy is going to pay you to talk about their pasta.
They're not.
It's doughy.
Here it's rubbery.
Oh my gosh.
Like in the United
States. Now you're insulting both countries?
Yes. No. The doughy is so much better. It's like
doughy better than rubbery.
It's so much better. It like tastes fresh. Or it feels
You're
fresh.
Crazy. You're out of your mind. Anyway, I heard the biggest difference is they don't use pasteurized cheese over there. Have y'all heard that?
Or sulfites in their wine?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like if you're
no headaches.
If you're lactose, typically you can go eat their cheese over there, especially their hard cheeses. Like if you're lactose free here in the US, you can typically go over there and eat cheese and it not actually bother you at all.
Let's hear what Cam Ward had to say about Calvin Ridley. Cam Ward released this on his account, right? Like this is just a YouTube clip of him talking about various things.
Yeah, so he returned to Miami, obviously this past week to do some workouts. Xavier Restrepo went with him, and I guess he had his own media team following him around, shooting some video, and he posted out a video on his YouTube page at Cam Ward on YouTube if you want to go watch it.
Yep.
And, this was a clip from it where he was talking about how impressed he was with Titans wide receiver 1, Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, different. How you move, everything. Now that I like see what a receiver's supposed to be like that's why I'm glad like Elliott, Chim, Strep, Bryce, all the guys in our room, I'm glad they got him because like I ain't never threw no receiver like him to move like him, can cut like him, and that boy he ain't selfish either. Like he want the rookies, all of us, he want us to do better than him because he gonna end up getting his one-on-one.
Nice.
I mean, all that, it's hard to argue. I mean, he's a world-class wide receiver. Yeah.
Never worked with someone who can cut like him.
Yeah, and he was careful about what he was saying because he realized that he's played with some good wide receivers in college anyway, and so that's why I think he threw those other guys in there. But yeah, Ridley's just different, he said.
I wonder what Calvin Ridley's like career numbers, what his career trajectory. Sorry, I had a little trouble there. Would be if it weren't for him being a number 2 to Julio Jones, and then the whole gambling situation.
Yeah, I think Ridley's got a chance to have a really big year this year. I'm anxious to see how because when you hear a quarterback talk like that, like I mean that's his guy, right? And he already
better be his guy.
Yeah, and he already knows that. Because if you look at Ridley's production last year, it went up tremendously when DeAndre Hopkins left, right? And that makes sense from a production standpoint because you're not having to divide those things. But, you know, there's still another receiver stepping in for DeAndre Hopkins. I just think it became clear who the number one was. Remember? Like last offseason, we're like, who's the number one receiver? And there was some debate about that.
Right.
And I feel like Will Levis was trying to kind of placate everyone at times. And maybe he wasn't. That's just what I thought I saw. You know, with him like trying to, hey, I need to give this guy some touches. I need to give this guy some touches. And to an extent, that's how they run offenses in the NFL, and I get that. But I think when you have a clear-cut number one, like you guys were talking about Chris Lowe saying, don't be surprised if Tennessee plays 2 quarterbacks. And what you guys said was if you have 2, you don't have 1.
Yeah.
In the NFL, you need obviously other options, but I think for a young quarterback to have, okay, I know who my go-to guy is, so I think that's helpful. Now, how do they – because I think the offense is going to look different. How do they –
I think it's going to look way different.
Way different. How do they incorporate the running backs more into the pass game? And they utilized them a lot last year, but I think it's going to be even more this year. And then what does that tight end room look like? In the 545 segment, Easton Freeze thinks if the Titans keep 3 tight ends –
they better not keep 5. I might lose my mind again.
Yeah, even if he said even if
such a weird decision last year.
He said even if they keep 4, the one out, he thinks the one that's out might surprise some people. So we'll do that at 5:45. When we come back, Chris Lowe, and we'll ask him some of these college football questions that we were talking about earlier. 615-737-1045, always the number. But Chris Lowe up next, 3HL 1045 The Zone.
All right, what's happening, y'all? KellumStemCellInstitute.com is where you need to go to get your stem cells working and ready for you. Get the inflammation out of your body. Those stem cells is your body, your cells, your solution. They can not only harvest your body's stem cells, but also store them for future and continued use. And guess what? You never know when you will need them. I'm telling you right now, I never know. So that's why I had to go do it. I called them at the drop of a hat and be like, hey, man, I'm telling you, something ain't feeling right in this ankle. I need to get it together, get this inflammation out. Oh, come on in, Slay. We'll take care of you. Go and set up the appointment, and boom, you ready to roll. But you need to go get your consultation first and foremost before you do anything else. 615-850-4415 is the number. 615-850-4415. Congestive heart failure, lung issues, autism, arthritis, anything inflammation related, they got you. Trust me, it works. I'm giving you my word. Stamp it. Seal it. Deliver. KellumStemCellInstitute.com.
3HL 104.5 The Zone. I may have messed up on Chris Lowe, time-wise. He said 5:20. I thought he meant 5:20 Central. I think he meant 5:20 Eastern. I've texted him. We'll see if he is available to join us. Brent Doherty, Don Davenport, and you guys,
Those
executive
dang time zones. They get me every time.
I'm surprised it doesn't happen more, honestly, but it hardly ever happens to us. But it definitely just did there, I think.
I told you it's so hard during my football season because I've got Kirk Morrison, who's in California, right? So he's on West Coast team. Mike Monaco, who's actually calling Wimbledon right now, so I can't.
Oh wow!
Can't text him in the group chat.
I love Wimbledon.
I know you do. And he's in Boston, so he's Eastern. Producer and crew is in Bristol, Connecticut, and then I'm on Central Time. And then when you have like a random team that's on a different time zone, let's say you get a BYU that's separate from. It's like a nightmare. There's like 5 different time zones listed on all our calls.
Yeah, it was weird tuning into you guys at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, that's a little odd.
Yeah, we were like, both of y'all were in the chat. We're like, what are y'all doing? Can't you find something to do in Spain better than hanging out with us at 1 in the morning?
But then he was like, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. We're done for the night.
I was literally about to go to sleep, and I think I got a tweet notification from the 3HL account, and I was like, oh, they're on right now. I was like, this is weird. We
appreciate you tuning in from across the pond.
Now, I will tell you, that is the only time I tuned in. That was about it.
Well, we missed you. Although Ross did a really good job in your absence.
He did. And we like his voice.
Yeah.
Not that we don't like your voice. I'm not comparing the two. I'm just
his
saying.
voice is better than yours, but...
Yeah, so I love...
Do you see that look?
Yeah. He's got that look.
That look in his
I enjoy watching Ben Shelton play. He's a lefty American. He's going up against the 1 seed center in the quarterfinals. Shelton plays with so much emotion, and he's a Florida Gator, as a matter of fact. I saw there were a couple of fans in the crowd at Wimbledon with a Gator logo flag, which, people in... People in England were like, what the hell is that?
Hey, they couldn't wear jean shorts.
I love it. Djokovic is in the quarters. Taylor Fritz is in the quarters. Another American. So 2 Americans in the Elite 8, so to speak. Nori is from Great Britain. He plays Alcaraz tomorrow, who's trying to go back-to-back. The crowd will be insane if Nori is able to stay in it against Alcaraz. So I'm looking forward to that. Also, I will say this. Todd Furman gave us... on the women's side, someone that he found value in to bet 2 weeks ago. And it was, where is she? Oh, Andreeva. She won today, and she's in the quarterfinals as well. So she actually kind of has an open side on that draw to get to the final. So we'll see. Chris Lowe said he was going to try to break away from people. That's what he said. He's on vacation. Told him you don't have to do that.
Going back to Ben Shelton real quick, did you guys see the story that came out with him after his 3rd round win?
No, but the on-court interview, she goes, weren't you a quarterbacker in high school? And he goes, yeah, I played quarterbacker or quarterback. Dad started dying laughing.
So his sister is there watching him along with the rest of his family.
His girlfriend and his parents. Yes.
And so his sister ran out of PTO while they're there. So she was going to have to turn around and go to work.
Oh.
Go back to work. So this is the story. This is what he did for his sister, or how he called it his lucky charm.
She has work back in the U.S. starting on Monday. She works for Morgan Stanley. And she works for Morgan Stanley, so if any of y'all have some connects and get her a couple extra days off so she can keep this rolling, that'd be great.
That's funny.
Yeah, you got the week off or what? Shout out Morgan Stanley.
Easy.
He ended up calling her boss, Morgan Stanley, and they gave her an extra week of PTO.
Oh, that is amazing.
So she could stay and watch him.
Nothing like the pressure, the public, national, international pressure of that.
Also, free advertising for
That's
whoever.
True. Morgan Stanley.
Yeah.
Hey, call Chris Lowe.
That's great.
Sorry, Zeph. Good story. How easy was that, though? All he had to do was mention Morgan Stanley. That's like you trying to get the 3HL crew at Lane Kiffin to do our show in Atlanta.
I know.
Tweet at him, at Lane Kiffin, right?
Is it just regular Lane Kiffin? I think
that. Yeah.
No, it's at Lane_Kiffin.
I tweeted it out from 3HL, Don's grassroots campaign.
What? He follows me.
Also, you have his phone number. Just text him.
I know. I don't like texting coaches unless I really need info.
Okay. That's fair.
Unless I really need something.
That is.
I save it for important things.
Yeah. Not 3HL.
All right. Anyway, hit up Lane. Tell him he needs to come on our show. He hasn't been on in I would say 6 years.
At
5 years.
Lane_Kiffin. I don't remember the last time he was
Actually, it was over COVID. Remember, we had all the coaches on over COVID.
Chris Lowe is on vacation, yet he's taking the time to do 3HL for a few minutes. Chris, what in the world are you doing, man?
I got to fill in for my boy Slay, right? It's just my way to honor him. He's on the shelf for a week or so, and so I got to fill in for big 3-5.
I think he may be close to coming back. Boy, he is attacking that physical therapy. I'll tell you that, and it looks excruciating. It looks excruciating.
Yeah, it's not knees and hips and none of those, man. When you get on into your, what is Slay now? Slay 40?
Yeah, he is. Chris Lowe, does this make you feel old? Slay's actually, 44?
Is he?
Holy mackerel.
43 or
Slay
44?
broke me in. So I met Ron. I'd been I started in Tennessee in '97, and then Ron's recruitment started probably in.
He's 44.
No, started in '99. Of course, I already knew who he was when he was at Pearl Con, and I remember Jim Wye always telling me about this. There's this guy, man, at Pearl Con. He wears a headband and wears it around his neck sometimes. And then, of course, then he went to Oak Hill from there and was a big time recruit. So I guess I probably met Ron in 2000, maybe something like that. And I tell him this. He remains one of the favorite people I've ever covered, and I got to cover his whole entire career at Tennessee.
So we had a question. Babs is kind of organic. We were talking about Tennessee, according to FanDuel, 7.5-point underdog to Georgia. Georgia's won 8 in a row in the series. That is Gunnar Stockton's first true road game, though, which gives me a little bit to latch onto there. Alabama, 11.5-point favorite over Tennessee and Tuscaloosa. Tennessee has not won in Tuscaloosa since 2002. Our producer was 1 year old when that happened. Florida is a 3-point favorite over Tennessee in Gainesville. The Vols have not won there since 2003. So that led us to a discussion organically about the most, what did you call them? Obnoxious fan base. What is the most obnoxious fan base you've witnessed?
You're trying to get me in trouble, aren't you?
That's what Zeph was like. I wonder if Lowe's going to answer that.
I said
it's so cyclical, though, and I'll do my best to answer it. It's so cyclical. I would have said in the late 90s, in the mid-90s, it was Florida. I mean, if you ever went to a game in the Swamp in 93, 94, 95, 96 when Spurrier had it rolling, especially when you had a game early in the year, it was 100 degrees. That was A, it was impossible to win there if you're the opposing team. B, if you're the opposing fans, it was just not a fun experience whatsoever, any way, shape, or form. And they were on top of the world. I think Alabama under Nick's reign, the fans just became, he would tell it to me off the record when we was talking. When you create a monster like that monster gets bigger and bigger and insatiable. And I think fans start to just think, hey, we're going to win like this forever, and we're going to flaunt. We're going to rub it in your face forever. I think Ohio State, over the years, their fan base has been difficult to deal with. Tennessee was always, to me, and it's my alma mater, is just the insecurity of Tennessee's fan base forever.
That's a good way to describe it.
Confident but insecure, yeah.
Because you're talking about a program that was a top 5 or top 10 program there. The whole, the end of Coach Major's tenure, and then really all the way through Phillips' tenure until it dipped there at the end. And then you had 1 year under Lane, the most tumultuous 11 months in the history of any SEC school. And then they just dropped off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
And I think it was hard. I mean, people in my own family to deal with that. I think that's where a lot of that insecurity came from. They took a lot of shots, from the media, national media. Now, all of a sudden, to Josh's credit, he's come back in. He's made Tennessee relevant nationally again. And I think if you're a Tennessee fan, you're like, oh, look at us. If we went to the playoff, yeah, you beat us down for more than a decade that we were beaten down. Here we are. So I think a lot of it depends on where you're looking, what vantage point you're looking from. I remember when Cam Newton was at Auburn in 2010, and they were just, he was Superman, and their fan base, of course, you had all the investigation part of that, which I was a part of, and their fans, Don, your brothers and sisters, man, were brutal to deal with back there in that time. So you see what I'm driving at here. A lot of it depends on
success.
Yeah, success. What's going on around your program? Have you lost a lot of times in a row to your rivals? Go ask Ryan Day. Up until this past year, what it's been like coaching at Ohio State, despite winning 12 games every year.
Yeah.
Yeah, they still got the Michigan
They still
thing.
wanted to go, yeah.
I cannot believe they lost that game. Still. How much, speaking of Alabama, how much pressure is on Kalen DeBoer? And the reason why I ask is kind of what you were talking about there. But, Ryan Williams had that quote during talking season a few weeks ago where he said the last time, Alabama had won double-digit games until last year his entire lifetime. And so going into year two, we were kind of talking through this, having lost to Tennessee, having lost to Vanderbilt. How big is this year for DeBoer? How much pressure is he under?
Well, I think, there's always pressure there when you're following, certainly Nick. And your first year, you don't play nearly as consistently as anybody would hope. Kalen being at the top of that list. And now in year two, it's like, okay, you had your mulligan. At the very least, you better be a playoff team. If you're not a playoff team, well, you know what the offseason is going to be like between year two and year three.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think they're going to be better. I think they'll be
I do too.
significantly better on defense. And but the thing he did last year, for all of Saban's accomplishments, obviously there were many. Think about it. The guy won 100 straight games against unranked teams, 100 in a row. He never lost to somebody he wasn't supposed to lose to. That's the longest streak in Division I history
ever. Yeah,
and I think when you sit down and you wrap your hands around that, and then Kalen comes in last year, he loses to Vandy that Alabama hadn't lost to in 40 years. He loses to a really average to below average Oklahoma team by 3 touchdowns. I think that's the kind of thing that Alabama fans and the people there who love that program, you're like doing triple takes. Like, wait a minute, we're losing to these teams we haven't lost to in 40 years. And so I think when you start talking about pressure, I think that's the thing. He doesn't need to lose to teams that he's not supposed to lose to next year. And I think over and above that, more than who he's not supposed to lose to, you need to get in the playoff and be there in December playing for it all, which Alabama did for essentially 2 decades under Nick.
So the other thing that came up was obviously the Heupel conversation, and I felt that maybe the pressure is off a little bit for Heupel because of what happened with Nico at the quarterback position. And then Zeph, who's a younger diehard Tennessee fan, felt that there was more pressure on Heupel because of that whole situation, because he said nobody's bigger than the T and, we'll be fine, whatever else. I kind of think it almost gives Heupel a pass this year.
Well, I don't think it's a pass, but I would agree that, it's not like they're going into the season with an established quarterback.
Yeah.
And so that's good. The good is, well, okay, maybe he gets a little bit of longer rope. The bad is, well, maybe there's more chances that you can lose games to teams that you wouldn't have lost to otherwise. And I think the next step is probably for Josh. This is his 5th year, is what's most important. You know, he's taken so many good steps. And Doug Dickey used to always tell me, he said, listen, you're the coach at Tennessee. You're always going to be measured by how you do against Alabama, Florida, and Georgia.
Yep.
And he was right. I mean, you go back and look from the end of Fulmer's tenure, into his tenure, because, you know, he did not beat Florida with any regularity. But he beat up on Alabama, and he beat up on Georgia pretty good. But once he got fired, Tennessee against those 3 teams was awful. I mean, the record's embarrassing. But what Josh has done now, I think, is he's not beaten Georgia, but he's beaten Alabama 2 of the last 3 years, and he's beaten Florida 2 of the last 3 years. And so to me, that's whoever got that job, that was one of the steps they needed to take. Now he needs to get, you know, to a point where they're beating Georgia some. I think the other thing is playing better on the road against better teams. I think that's the next step for this program.
Can they be that this year? Like, because my argument was the expectation level with rational Tennessee fans has come down a little bit for this year, right? Like, I think people just kind of know what you just said. Like, you don't have a proven quarterback. Let's see where they are there. You know, you have the number 1 quarterback in the country coming in the next year. Now, you know, if he wins 7-8 games or something like that, that definitely sets up an offseason where we are having that discussion where there is pressure on Josh Heupel with the number 1 quarterback coming in and all of those things. But what do you think the expectation level should be for this fan base for this year?
I think even if Nico had stayed, that it was that 50-50 at best that they make the playoff, because the schedule gets a little tougher this year. Mm-hmm. Remember, you have to go to Florida and to Alabama, and then you play Georgia, which is going to be a hard game wherever you play. And as you pointed out, Brent, they hadn't beaten them in nearly a decade. So even if Nico stayed, so I'm one of those that looks at that situation. Yeah, you don't have a proven quarterback, but it wasn't like you had John Elway returning or Peyton Manning. I mean, he was pretty pedestrian last year. I do think
the thought is that he would have gotten better, like that there would have been a jump.
I think he would have, and I agree with you. I think he would have been better in his second full season as a starter, which probably would have allowed them to do more things on offense and open it up, because they could not throw the football down the field last year. But that's not all on Nico. That's on pass pro. It's on receivers getting open. So I think all those things. I think they will be better at some of those things. My biggest concern on Tennessee, though, is I think Tim Banks' defense will be good again, really good. And I don't know, though, for 2 years in a row that you can lean as much and as hard on your defense as they did last year and get back to the playoff. They're going to have to do more on offense. They're going to have to make more explosive plays down the field. They're going to have to not put the defense in some of the positions they did last year.
Yeah, and maybe get back to that high rate of speed that they've gotten away from a little bit with Milton and Nico.
Yeah, and I think some of that was on purpose. I think he knew, Josh, to his credit, knew he had a defense that he could ride.
Right.
And to me, that shows that he's evolved as a coach. And you want to play complementary football, but you also don't want to get into a position, especially in that league, where you're always having to win that way. The best teams you play, and it sort of played out this way last year, the best teams you play, it's hard to win like that. You got to be able to play better on offense more consistently, and certainly you got to be able to make some plays down the field. And, against Georgia and Ohio State, they weren't able to do that.
Well, we appreciate you taking the time on vacation to hop in with us, especially when I messed the time up, which I admitted to for sure. Can we ask what you're doing?
What I'm doing?
Yeah, vacation.
I'm dining right now at overlooking the marsh, crossing the Atlantic Ocean, just outside Polly's Isle.
Oh, that is wonderful.
Thank you, Chris.
You didn't have to jump on with us. We appreciate you. Are we going to see you next week?
I'll be there. I look forward to seeing you guys.
Yay!
Awesome.
All right, guys. Take care.
See you, Chris.
Thanks, CeeLo.
He's the best. All right, when we come back, Easton Freeze has an interesting tight end room casualty that he thinks is going to happen.
Good Lord, Mayor. Why you got to put it that way?
Is that too much?
Can we take it back a notch?
Is that too much? I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe a cut? or something instead of casualty? Jeez.
That's what it is. We'll be right back.
Okay.
I want to tell you about my friends at Gupton Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Daniel Gupton and his crew are ready to help you out, get you in that next new vehicle, and they would love the opportunity to help you find that new ride. Just let them know what you're looking for, and they will point you in the right direction. There is no question about that. And then you can take your test drive, go inside, and they will help make the numbers work. It is that easy. 3450 Tom Austin Highway in beautiful Springfield, Tennessee, just 30 minutes from downtown Nashville. They do have some deals going on. You can see all of that online at guptonmotors.com, but employee pricing plus incentives this month on most all new Gupton Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram vehicles. Great time to buy. You can see the entire inventory, the new inventory and the pre-owned inventory. Phenomenal. Online, guptonmotors.com. Again, 3450 Tom Austin Highway. 24 west toward Clarksville, exit 35 is about 9 miles outside the city, and it's a beautiful drive into the best vehicle buying experience you will have ever had. Gupton Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Again, online at guptonmotors.com. 3HL 104.5 The Zone. Britt Doherty, Don Davenport with you.
Maybe Ron Slay back tomorrow. I'll see if I can scoop him up.
I love how you say that. One day your husband was picking me up to bring me to your place, and you're like, I'll have Travis scoop you up.
He'll just scoop you up. What do you say, pick up?
I don't know, but scoop you up it makes me feel like I'm like cat poo in a litter box.
Oh, gosh. Okay. Okay.
I mean, I guess we could put that on the 3HL bingo card.
I was just going to say, I just wrote it down for your bingo card.
Also,
makes me feel like cat poo.
It's harder to do this when there's only two of us in here because I can't, get distracted by writing things down as much.
I wrote some down.
Okay. I did write down the last time Tennessee won at Alabama, Zeph was in a bouncer in front of the TV, drooling and pooping in his diaper.
Yep, Zeph pooping his diapers was on my bingo card.
Do you have anything else? That's the only thing I wrote down.
I also have from Zeph, it's doughy.
Someone corrected me and said dense is a better word, and I think that's correct.
Oh, that is a good word. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Doughy, dense.
Yeah.
It's doughy.
Doughy does have a negative connotation to it.
It does.
I do not want to put a negative connotation on the pasta I had in Italy because there was nothing negative about it.
That's true.
It's more of a fun word, though, than dense.
It is true.
Doughy.
And makes me feel like cat poo in a litter box.
Scoop me up.
Your very own mayor.
Yeah. I know Babs had some. I just didn't get to writing.
She looked me dead in the eye and said, I like his voice better than yours.
God, at least you didn't take it personal. Sorry, Zeph.
Somebody said that.
But we did miss you.
Oh, we definitely missed you, bro.
Yeah.
But you did a great job of training Ross. Somebody said that Ross sounded like Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah.
Which is good. That's a good one.
Is that a good thing?
I mean, I think it's pretty accurate. Listen, Ross is distinctive.
Yes. He was born, Zeph, while you were gone, we figured out Ross was born in Plano, Texas.
He doesn't
That's
know
where
that.
I was born.
And now you guys live in the same neighborhood.
And now we live in the same neighborhood. And that same day, I walk in Las Palmas to meet my family.
Great place.
And Ross's parents are sitting right there. I've never met them, even though they live in the neighborhood. I'm not a big neighborhood person.
Weird things keep happening to all of us, that happen over and over and over. And it just perpetuates Babs's theory that we all live in the Matrix.
Oh, I met a guy from Murfreesboro, Tennessee in Rome.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what's funny? When we were in
that? You live in Murfreesboro.
That is bizarre.
I said, what are the odds?
When we were in Florence, there was a group of 10 kids all with UT stuff on. I'm like, Vols are even in Florence. They're everywhere.
Bet you love that. It made you say, go Vols, didn't it?
Oh, Zeph, you missed your chance.
You missed it.
I will never miss my chance. I'll play it whenever. I'll run you over with it.
There's another one.
There you go.
Was this 3HL bingo card net on the way out of here? Easton Freeze thinks if the Titans keep 3 tight ends, the 3 would be Chig, Gunnar Helm, and David Martin Robinson. He says if they keep 4, Thomas Odukoya is the 4th, and that Josh Wiley is going to be gone.
What?
After 2 years.
Okay, what's funny is somebody brought up Josh Wiley as a trade option.
Yeah.
Okay, nobody's trading for Josh Wiley.
No. Well,
exactly.
He's got upside, 28 receptions in year 2, 248 yards and 1 touchdown. Plus,
I think DMR is maybe a sleeper.
Well, you need
Titans
an inline tight end.
Yeah.
So he's that.
Yeah.
But the more I thought about that, the more I thought, in college, a lot of times people will say, well, they recruited over this dude. Did they draft a better Josh Wiley and Gunnar Helm?
Ooh.
And that's what makes him expendable?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could definitely see Gunnar Helm being used in that Josh Wiley role, but being a lot more productive in it.
Yeah, I think Chig's going to – there's talk that Gunnar Helm will win the tight end 1 job. I don't think that's feasible, really, at this point. Chig knows what he's doing, knows the playbook inside and out. He was very productive his last 3 games last year. I'm not saying Gunnar Helm won't take over, but to start the season, I think Chig has to be the tight end one, right?
I think Chig should be watching his back.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Because if he's not putting up the production and Gunnar Helm, gets some opportunities and takes advantage of them, I could totally see Helm take over.
Our friend David Allen. We see him at the Army-Navy game every year because Cooper Allen, his son, is a punter for Army. You know that Allen's.
Yeah.
David Allen just texted me.
We saw Cooper, yeah.
He goes, speaking of the Matrix, he goes, Coop is buddies with Ross, and my parents live in Pawleys Island. Y'all are freaking me out today.
Dude, I'm telling you. What? Okay, why is Ross involved in all this Matrix stuff? Ross is not real.
You think Ross is an alien?
There you go.
I guarantee you the commissioner of the NBA is an alien. Just look at that guy.
Well, that was random.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Sorry, Stern.
Not Stern.
I mean Silver.
Yeah, Silver.
Catching strays.
Me,
Stern's the old one.
Yeah, like a long time ago.
Yeah.
Tell me, look at Adam Silver and tell me he's not an alien.
I can't.
I know. He's doing weird things to basketball, too. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Yeah, by the way, I meant to get to this today. Penny Collins left TSU to take an assistant coaching gig with the Memphis Grizzlies, so TSU is looking for a men's basketball coach. One name that has been thrown around is Ron Slay. Slay wrote on...
Wait, what?
Slay wrote...
What?
Why are we getting to this at the end of the show?
Why did you wait till the music was on to bring this up?
I forgot, and I was going to do it if he was here, and then it went back burner to me, but... this is important. Slay wrote in response to Mike Patton, truly honored just to be in the conversation. I beat on that coaching door several years ago, and they went unanswered. I would definitely put my energy behind Josh Bone. Can't think of anyone more established or rooted. Plus, you want someone that wants it mutually. #Bone. Josh Bone played at Tennessee.
Yeah.
He's from Nashville. He joined the TSU coaching staff in 2018. He's been an assistant coach at TSU for 3 years. Yeah, there. Hey, I got everything out.
Coach Ron Slay.
I can't believe you waited till the end.
Yeah,
listen, I had Slay come coach my bonus sons team for a couple practices. He's legit.
Yes, he did. That's right. Yeah. So operator error twice on me today.
Jeez, Mayor. All right. Well, we're bringing that back up again when Slay gets here.
T-Man 615, Ross is a time traveler.
That's right.
That's what he is. All right. We've learned a lot today. Hope you guys have enjoyed the show. We'll be back at it tomorrow. Love y'all. Thank you very much for including us in your day and in your lives. We do not take that for granted, nor do we take that lightly. Have a great night, y'all. Good night. God bless.
See ya.
Wouldn't want to be a shout out.
Oh, wait, yeah.
You've got one?
Yeah, shout out to Rome and the Coliseum.
Okay. Shout out to Slay's Knee. Let's go.
Get on it.
Get up on it.